I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. I did not wish to live what was not life. Living is so dear. Nor did I wish to practice resignation unless it was quite necessary. I wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life, to live so sturdily and Spartan-like as to put to rout all that was not life, to cut a broad swath and shave close, to drive life into a corner and reduce it to its lowest terms. Rather than love, than money, than fame, give me truth. I learned this, at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. How vain it is to sit down to write when you have not stood up to live. The question is not what you look at, but what you see. Dreams are the touchstones of our characters. The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. What is called resignation is confirmed desperation. From the desperate city you go into the desperate country and have to console yourself with the bravery of minks and muskrats. A stereotyped but unconscious despair is concealed even under what are called the games and amusements of mankind. There is no play in them, for this comes after work. But it is a characteristic of wisdom not to do desperate things. I find it wholesome to be alone the greater part of the time. To be in company, even with the best, is soon wearisome and dissipating. I love to be alone. I never found the companion that was so companionable as solitude. You must live in the present. Launch yourself on every wave. Find your eternity in each moment. Fools stand on their island of opportunities and look towards another land. There is no other land. There is no other life but this. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them. Do not be too moral. You may cheat yourself out of much life. So aim above morality. Be not simply good. Be good for something. The animal merely makes a bed, which he warms with his body in a sheltered place. But man, having discovered fire, boxes up some air in a spacious apartment and warms that. Instead of robing himself, makes that his bed, in which he can move about divested of more cumbrous clothing, maintain a kind of summer in the midst of winter, and by means of windows even admit the light, and with a lamp lengthen out the day. All good things are wild and free. If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer. Let him step to the music he hears, however measured or far away. Our life is frittered away by detail. Simplify, simplify, simplify. We need the tonic of wilderness, at the same time that we are earnest to explore and learn all things. We require that all things be mysterious and unexplorable, that land and sea be indefinitely wild, unsurveyed, and unfathomed by us, because unfathomable. We can never have enough of nature. Live in each season as it passes. Breathe the air, drink the drink, taste the fruit, and resign yourself to the influence of the earth. I would rather sit on a pumpkin and have it all to myself than be crowded on a velvet cushion. Disobedience is the true foundation of liberty. The obedient must be slaves. However mean your life is, meet it and live it. Do not shun it and call it hard names. It is not so bad as you are. It looks poorest when you are richest. The fault finder will find faults even in paradise. Love your life, poor as it is. You may perhaps have some pleasant, thrilling, glorious hours, even in a poorhouse. The setting sun is reflected from the windows of the almshouse as brightly as from the rich man's abode. The snow melts before its door as early in the spring. I do not see but a quiet mind may live as contentedly there and have as cheering thoughts as in a palace. The greatest compliment that was ever paid me was when one asked me what I thought and attended to my answer. As if you could kill time without injuring eternity. Nothing makes the earth seem so spacious as to have friends at a distance. They make the latitudes and longitudes. I was not born to be forced. I will breathe after my own fashion. Let us see who is strongest. Things do not change. We change. There is no remedy for love, but to love more. Our truest life is when we are in dreams, awake. The cost of a thing is the amount of what I will call life, which is required to be exchanged for it, immediately or in the long run. Not till we are lost, in other words, not till we have lost the world, do we begin to find ourselves and realize where we are and the infinite extent of our relations. Heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads. If we will be quiet and ready enough, we shall find compensation in every disappointment. Any fool can make a rule, and any fool will mind it. We must learn to reawaken and keep ourselves awake, not by mechanical aids, but by an infinite expectation of the dawn, which does not forsake us, even in our soundest sleep. I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to elevate his life by a conscious endeavor. It is something to be able to paint a particular picture or carve a statue, and so to make a few objects beautiful. But it is far more glorious to carve and paint the very atmosphere and medium through which we look, which morally we can do, to affect the quality of the day. That is the highest of arts. A man is rich in proportion to the number of things which he can afford to let alone. Every generation laughs at the old fashions, but follows religiously the new. All men want not something to do with, but something to do, or rather, something to be. In the morning, I bathe my intellect in the stupendous and cosmogonal philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, since whose composition years of the gods have elapsed, and in comparison with which our modern world and its literature seem puny and trivial. And I doubt if that philosophy is not to be referred to as a previous state of existence. So remote is its sublimity from our conceptions. I lay down the book and go to my well for water. And lo, there I meet a servant of the Brahman, priests of Brahma and Vishnu and Indra, who still sits in his temple on the Ganges, reading the Vedas, or dwells at the root of a tree with his crust and water jug. I meet his servant, come to draw water for his master, and our buckets, as it were, grate together in the same well. The pure Walden water is mingled with the sacred water of the Ganges. The language of friendship is not words, but meanings. As you simplify your life, the laws of the universe will be simpler. Solitude will not be solitude. Poverty will not be poverty, nor weakness, weakness. What is the use of a house if you haven't got a tolerable planet to put it on? An early morning walk is a blessing for the whole day. Could a greater miracle take place than for us to look through each other's eyes, even for an instant? This world is but a canvas to our imaginations. Only that day dawns to which we are awake. There is more day to dawn. The sun is but a morning star. When I hear music, I fear no danger. I am invulnerable. I see no foe. I am related to the earliest times and to the latest. I do believe in simplicity. It is astonishing as well as sad how many trivial affairs even the wisest thinks he must attend to in a day. How singular an affair he thinks he must omit. When the mathematician would solve a difficult problem, he first frees the equation of all encumbrances and reduces it to its simplest terms. So simplify the problem of life. Distinguish the necessary and the real. Probe the earth to see where your main roots run. It is never too late to give up your prejudices. The church, the state, the school, the magazine think they are liberal and free. It is the freedom of a prison yard. It is not worth the while to let our imperfections disturb us always. My greatest skill has been to want but little. Write while the heat is in you. The writer who postpones the recording of his thoughts uses an iron which is cooled to burn a hole with. He cannot inflame the minds of his audience. If the day and the night are such that you greet them with joy, and life emits a fragrance like flowers and sweet-scented herbs, it is more ecstatic, more starry, more immortal. That is your success. All nature is your congratulation, and you have cause, momentarily, to bless yourself. The greatest gains and values are the farthest from being appreciated. We easily come to doubt if they exist. We soon forget them. They are the highest reality. Perhaps the facts most astounding and most real are never communicated by man to man. The true harvest of my daily life is somewhat intangible and indescribable as the tints of morning or evening. It is a little stardust caught, a segment of the rainbow which I have clutched. There is no teacher so great as experience. The universe is wider than our views of it. Pursue some path, however narrow and crooked, in which you can walk with love and reverence. I can alter my life by altering my attitude. He who would have nothing to do with thorns must never attempt to gather flowers. Every morning was a cheerful invitation to make my life equal to simplicity, and I may say innocence, with nature herself. Morning is when I am awake and there is sunlight in me. On the death of a friend, we should consider that the fates, through confidence, have devolved on us the task of a double living, that we have henceforth to fulfill the promise of our friend's life also in our own to the world. Public opinion is a weak tyrant compared with our own private opinion. What a man thinks of himself, that it is which determines, or rather indicates, his fate.